Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right back into recording another episode because I feel like it. I'm still drinking my wine, which means it's still the same day. Because how much I like to squawk, I didn't get a whole hell of a lot done on this. I did do a little bit in between episodes, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. Like, even everyone has their off days, even in the industry. Speaking of which, that's another thing I guess I should talk about, or rather balk about, is what's gonna happen when I get in the industry. And because all studios have non-disclosure agreements, I cannot or will not be able to discuss what's going on in my work, which I am totally fine with. So as soon as I get out of college, this kind of video, from me anyway, might likely disappear. And honestly, that's not really a bad thing because I highly doubt that this is actually going to get any viewership, but you know, whatevs. I don't do this for other people. But I did want to clarify that just because of how the industry is, and in case I do, one of the employers does see this, I am going to clarify this right now. I would never talk about anything in the industry if I'm not allowed to. Even though, in my honest opinion, it would do the show a great deal of good. But, you know, it's not my place. A lot of this stuff doesn't actually require a whole heck of a lot. And especially right now, there's not a lot going on in my life. Like, the only other thing I can really talk about right now is relationships. And as far as some of that stuff goes, I've not had the best relationships, and it's hard to talk about because I know some of them still are, some of the people that I was with are still subscribed to me, and they might still be watching my videos. Some of them I still like. Some of them I don't. As always, when it comes to this stuff, I'm always going to keep names away from this, unless they want to come forward. But I'll say this right now: I've done stuff I'm not proud of, and thus wine. But like my current mate, he is... Oops. My mate is easily one of the best people I have ever been with. And I will gladly stand by that. And I will gladly stand by him and anything that he chooses to do. Because already in our relationship, he has stood by everything, even when I'm confused as to what's going to happen, or confused about things myself. And being someone that shares the same spiritual beliefs as me, again, a video explaining that is coming because I feel like making one. Thank you very much. It also kind of brings an interesting point into what our society is kind of becoming, especially with YouTube, when a lot of the things that used to be private are no longer private. With that being said, there is a couple things I will never ever talk about on this channel. And that is an in-depth look that is dealing with my family, or relationships, or other people. If people want to make response videos and whatnot, I don't think I'll even respond to them. And it's not because like I'm scared of anything that I say on this channel, because I'm not. It's because half the things that are said are opinions only. There are differences in perspective. There are a lot of things, again, I've done that I'm not proud of, and I'm just trying to move on from those things. So, if you guys really comment, I'll gladly respond to those. Just the thing with my life, I've gotten a lot of hate from a lot of different people. And it's gotten to a point where I can't really talk about anything or really do much without being reminded of the things that I've done wrong. Or the things that have happened. Even though I would love to talk about some of the stuff, I would love to be upfront about everything. I would love to say that I was perfect. I know my mate likes to think so. But the reality is, nobody is perfect. we've all done things that we're not happy with. We've all we all have regrets. Just the thing with life is you try and make it so you're not scared of those regrets. So with the way life ends up being for you, at least at the end of it, you can look back and go, there are things that I've done that I'm not happy, but at least the way after that, I did better. I will admit this, that I talk a lot about dark subjects sometimes, and that's mainly because of things that have happened. My family is big. And with the way life is, you end up, and with a big family, you end up burying a lot of people. About 4 years ago, I actually ended up having to give my grandmother CPR. And watching as she passed into a coma. She was the closest family member that I've actually had. And going through something like that really threw things into perspective for me. And after saying goodbye to her for the last time, it really showed me how short life is. And why stuff like the transition is so important to me. And stuff like my spiritual expression, my gender identity, stuff like that is so important. And not only that, but when I spend most of my life alone, it's even more important for me to do something like this, where it's a blog, because even if something happens, just, I seriously hope it doesn't, but if it does, at least this is out there. At the end of the day, we don't take money on words. You don't take things. You take experiences. You take the connections you had with people. So, love is one of the most important things we have in this life. And our friends. As kind of a point to this, I was following one of my favorite artists in the fur fandom. See, I will preface this with saying sometimes the fandom is not the best for some things. Neither is the other community, because I belong to both. But I was following one of my favorite artists, and I actually found out that he lost his mate to a car accident. And the thing that hit me again about that is he was only a year older than me. You can try and be, you can try and do everything right and be as safe as you can. But what you can't control is other people. So, my main goal with things like the movies and this channel, it has never been about money. It has never been about money. It's about creating something where people connect with. Because, like Walt Disney, the original Walt is long dead by now. We know this. There's theories that he's frozen. No, either way, he's not around. But almost everybody in the world knows his name, just from the creations that he's put out. And his studio still lives on. I love love it when things get dark. Not really. I hate being depressed. But... Yes. It pops up, what, you have fleas? No. I do not have fleas. Speaking of Walt Disney. Only your fleas will mourn you. No, I actually, my scalp I keep itching because I think it was called ceramic dermatitis or whatever it was. Just means my scalp gets really, really itchy. And I can either... And there are... Like, really the only solution that I've actually found that works so far is keeping my hair short. And I don't want to do that. So... You know what? Chess kind of reminded me of a really good thing to talk about. Let's talk about things like shaving. Because why not? And also at the same time, I think a lot of people underestimate how... Again, I said this in a prior video. And that is... shaving and whatnot. Because again, testosterone does affect hair growth. It's what puts hair on your chest. And it's like one of the main reasons why I absolutely hate being born a guy. I talked about this before. Especially after I kind of realized, or I talked, well, no, after I realized how different things, after how different skin feels and how different you feel after doing things like shaving, and shaving a certain way, it's a very different feeling. And with, like, just with me, my entire family pretty much has glasses. And with my nose thing right now, that takes away that takes away 3 out of the 5 senses. And this, I'm a guitar player, well, guitar bass. I spend a lot of time in or around loud things like amplifiers and movie theaters. So my hearing is not really that good anymore. So that only leaves touch. And when you feel something that's so off, like rough skin, or even just things like the jaw, or this, like facial hair, it's for me, it's hard to trust your five senses when four of them don't work and the other one just feels wrong. Like, where else do you have to turn for that? Which kind of brings up good point, and that is wine. Apparently, wines smell different, and wines have a lot of underlying taste. I don't taste any of them. I can't even smell wine. The only thing that I can actually say about the wines that I drink is whether or not something is sharp or if it's round. That's like the best way that I can describe my tastes. It's like white wine has a very, very sharp taste to it. To me. So, yeah. And I can taste some things. The main things that I can taste revolve around cream, which is really weird. Like, one of the main things that I love to eat is pasta. And the pasta that I make always has is a Alfredo base. Because, again, ew. Cream is like one of the only few things that I could taste. And sometimes you need to have abundance of stuff in it. There's a fine line between what I can taste and what's really overpowering. But when you can walk that fine line, it's one of the few times where food is amazing. And this does bring up something. And that something is... That something is rain fart. Well, okay. Here is something. Let's talk about the transitions, shall we? Well, actually, you know what? I'll save it for next time. I think this has been going on long enough. I do have somewhat of a bush going, so there's that. Alright, ladies and germs, non-binary folk. Thank you so very much for watching. I have squawked on for long enough. I'll shut my beak. Until next time.